Hey everyone, it's Amber from Microartistry. I am going to do a quick voiceover of the microblading that I did today. This is Claudia. She's actually a friend of mine, and so I'm going to just kind of talk you through the way I do my entire microblading procedure. So the very first thing that we do is clean the skin, which you already saw, and then we measure with the golden ratio measurement tool. That's a Brows tool that I'm using. And we measure based on the inner corners of her eye, and then the tool kind of helps me do a lot of the measurement of her brows. So then I go ahead and do the arch points, and then her tail will be coming up, and then I have a different method to continue to measure the brows, and it includes a string method. So it kind of helps to keep everything in line when I use my string method, and it helps me with my symmetry. I also have an app on my phone that I use, and it is an app with Brows. Brows is, of course, the company that I was trained with, and so they have a lot of tools to help their artists. And so the app helps kind of determine the symmetry based on the facial points, the points of the eyes, and all of that stuff. So enjoy watching this. Let me know if you have any questions, and then we'll continue once I actually start microblading. Okay, so I've applied numbing cream to Claudia's eyebrows, and I am now wiping it off. It's been about 20 minutes that she sits to numb, so we just kind of let her, that's kind of a good time to walk around or run to the restroom, grab something to drink while you're numbing. So now I'm cleaning off her skin, and then we're going to get ready to start microblading. The tool that I'm using is a Brows disposable tool, and the pigment that I'm using in this instance is Brows Pigments Brown 3 SUPE, which is their newer pigment line. Just got released, I think like 3 or 4 months ago maybe. And so of course I have to have everything that's new. So as you can see, I do my microblading back and forth. I do the first hair strokes, generally starting, and then I count my strokes as I go. So I'll do 1 stroke, 1 stroke, 2 strokes, 2 strokes, and they're in the same spot. So that way I can keep the brows as symmetrical as possible. That's the goal, to have brows that look the same. So when I was new, I used to do 1 whole eyebrow, and then I would do the second eyebrow. But of course, as you kind of grow in your work and everything like that, you figure out what works best for you. And so this works best for me, and I love it. It just kind of keeps everything easy for me. So what I'm doing is going with her natural hair growth. As you can see, she's like a perfect candidate for microblading. She's not too oily. I'm hoping, and she's not too dry. She's perfect. Her skin's perfect. And also she has hair. So that really helps as far as like videos go, because you can see really where I'm, like, you as the viewer can see what I'm doing. Even if you don't have hair, I can do your brows and it's not a problem. But this makes it pretty easy to just go along with the way that the hair is growing. So in the front it grows up, as you can see, and then it slowly starts to taper over, and then it comes down. And eyebrows, generally do that, up, over, down. And so as far as her brows go, she has a little bit of hair. I mean, it's kind of like a little sparse in certain areas, as you can see, that underneath part and then the tail, they're both pretty sparse, but there is hair there, and so she's a great candidate for microblading. And so we follow the natural hair growth pattern for the most natural result. And so then you can see that that's what I'm doing. I also kind of want to mention that it doesn't look like she's in pain, right? A lot of these YouTube videos that I'm seeing are kind of terrifying, and it's sad really, because I think people come into my studio really afraid of pain, and that's kind of sad, because literally almost none of my clients feel hardly anything, and it's because I don't go very deep, and I use a numbing cream the entire time. So before you start, you're numb. We'll do your first pass, which is what I'm doing now, and then we numb you again. So you shouldn't really feel much of the procedure when you're with me. I know a lot of artists will kind of cut corners and they won't numb you, or they'll say like, oh, it changes the skin. I haven't seen that, honestly. I haven't seen that. My clients heal beautifully, and we pre-numb every time. So, I mean, to each their own. I feel like it's a time cutting excuse for a lot of artists. They'll just say like, oh, well, it changes the skin, so I'm not going to pre-numb you. But really, they want to book more people, and they just don't care that you're in pain. So I care, and so as you can see, she's not. So now I'm just cleaning off our first pigment mask, and I'm applying her secondary numbing cream. That's what I just did on her right brow. And I'm gonna check everything. So I clean off the pigment mask. We're gonna clean up everything so we don't see the outline anymore, and all we see are the brows. So Claudia has more hair on her left brow in the top than she does on her right. When you see her before picture, you can see that. And so the first order of business is going to be to kind of add more hair to the top part of her right brow. But for now, what I usually do is wipe off the numbing cream, and then I'm going to clean up anything with any like additional little hairs underneath your shape with tweezers. And then we get started on our second pass. So the first pass is what we call our skeleton strokes, or our foundation strokes. And so you kind of have to go over your strokes again in order to get them to stick long term. So that's why we numb you again, so that way you're not in any pain. And then I just work over the same strokes and go to both brows. So that's what you'll see me doing right now. But of course, measuring, there I am. Measuring always. Every time, every brow, over and over, just to make sure that they're right. Because when you're looking at somebody straight on, they have to look right. This is my, walking advertisement. So yeah, they have to look right in person. And so you'll see a lot of artists post one eyebrow. And generally, every artist has like a dominant hand, of course, so I know one microblading artist who is ambidextrous, which is amazing, but most people are right-handed or left-handed, and so generally if you're right-handed, the right brow is easier for you, and if you're left-handed, the left brow is easier for you, and it's just because of the way your body is positioned when you do that eyebrow. So that's why I really had to train myself to do both eyebrows at the same time in order to get the same result on both and to have the same angles. The hair strokes are going down at the same angle, etc., etc. So when I work in my second pass, I always just do like the one eyebrow while the other one numbs, and then do the pigment mask over this first eyebrow. So I'm doing the right brow, and then you'll see me do the left brow. So now we're just cleaning off the second pigment mask, and Claudia's gonna go home. She's all done for today. We don't go too crazy on day one. We're just gonna fill in the brows, even out the shape, and send you home to heal. I do my first and second, sometimes a third pass depending on the skin. Looks like the color's holding really well on her skin for 2 passes, so we don't want to open up the skin too much. And I send her home with an aftercare kit. I have an entire aftercare video that is on my page. And 7 weeks later, we'll see her, we'll see how the brows have healed, and we'll do our touch-up, which I call our perfecting visit. And yeah, so she's happy. She's got even brows now, nice and full. Thanks for watching, you guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe or comment. Let me know how you like it. Thanks.